We are back and better than ever. What's up, everybody? It's your host, Sammy here. It's episode 6 of the Empire Hour podcast. We've been open for about a year and a half, and it's episode 6. So sorry about the, a lot of time in between episodes. I've been a little busy over here, but wanted to pop on. Today we got Coach Austin, also General Manager Austin with us. So round of applause.
Yes, thank you.
We wanted to do this episode because, obviously Austin's been here, like a few months now, but, kind of wanted to dive a little bit deeper and, for y'all to get to know Austin a little bit better as well. So, Austin, it's a pleasure to have you, man.
Appreciate it. Happy to be here.
Not just on the podcast, but, at Empire in general.
Yeah.
Austin's a little nervous, so we're gonna give him some time.
Sammy's a little nervous too.
Yeah,
so.
I'm always nervous. But
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna crack open my caffeine because I feel like it'll give us a little bit of a boost here. But So Austin, take us through a little bit of your background, right? Where you're from, what's your athletic background, what's your experience? I know that you're a former Penn State Nittany Lion, so kind of take us through a little bit of that.
Yeah. So from the north, up in PA, a little outside of Pittsburgh, a town called Grove City. Kind of been in athletics like my whole life. Played baseball, a little bit of golf, mostly swimming though. That took me to college. Ended up at Penn State. Luckily, swam there for 4 years. Did that whole shebang, put my friggin' social life to bed, essentially.
Yeah. You a backstroke guy, freestyle guy, butterfly? What were you ripping in the pool?
I was a big backstroker and a sprint free. My claim to fame was the underwaters. I'm not so good at swimming, but the stuff underwater is where I excelled.
Swan dives once in a while?
Yeah, right? A little dive for distance, yeah. But I really enjoyed my time there. My best friends are the 3 or 4 guys that I graduated with. Still talk to them all the time. But after school, just kind of was never somebody who knew exactly what I wanted to do. Studied kinesiology, exercise science when I was in school. Just really caught my interest.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I graduated during COVID. So basically I had a projector, presentation as graduation.
Yep.
So that was a bit of a bummer, but that was COVID, moved home, tried to figure things out, ended up getting my CSCS, strength and conditioning certification during that time.
Nice.
Figured might as well.
I had no idea you had your CSCS. I know that you were certified personal trainer. I had no idea you had CSCS.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
that's the hardest test to get.
Yeah, I figured I might as well just start at the top and I can kind of do everything under it if I really decided to. So that's kind of where I started. And then I had reached out to somebody I met when I was 16, a coach at Princeton, and was asking about different coaching opportunities that he might know of, and he was like, well, I'm leaving, so you can kind of take my spot. Or join the team. And
it's convenient.
Yeah, that was nice. It was a good timing thing. So I ended up moving to Princeton, New Jersey. Lived there for about 3 years, coached with the Princeton men's swim team, which was a lot of fun, but at a certain time, I've spent too much time around a pool. I probably still smell of chlorine 5 years later.
Were you that assistant coach that just got absolutely after it with the team, outside practice, or did you kind of say, all right, I'm actually gonna coach, not actually coach these guys, but were you that fun assistant where you were hey, what are we doing tonight here, boys? Or
No, I mean the NCAA has. I was afraid of the NCAA, so I was not willing to do all that.
Yeah, it's It's like, Jesus, what the hell kind of Ivy League
I
school
know,
is
I
this?
know.
You know?
It was weird, man. It was weird. I was 23, coaching. Like the oldest kid on the team was 4 months younger than me.
Yeah.
It's just basically friends, but you also have to like be a coach at the same time.
Yeah.
So
Boundaries.
it was a weird dynamic, and yeah, it's probably like could have made some bad decisions. But fortunately, I didn't. And,
there you go.
At least for the sake of the podcast.
There you go. What? So Princeton. Did you go back home in between Princeton and Raleigh?
No. So once I kind of like mentally said I'm done with coaching swimming, I found a like startup company. Thought 9 to 5 would be the ideal next step, and it was cool. It was like a sports marketing gig, little startup company. So there's only 8 or 9 of us in the spot, and I liked the freedom for about 4 months, and then you run out of places to go and things to do. But after that, just I hit about a year and was basically gassed out of that. I had no like real drive to do it, and then
it's like I could never picture myself doing anything outside of fitness either.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
When I tried that one day, I went out in like the field with someone where I was guaranteed like a certain income, and I was just like, I can't walk around in like a collared shirt, jeans all day. Like I just can't do that.
Yeah.
It's got to be in gym clothes. It's got to be in a gym setting, and boom.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, it's a perk for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I'm like somebody who like struggles to put like time and thought and effort into something that's like I'm not passionate about.
Yeah, no,
so
100%.
that was like a big thing, and it just like once I hit a year, like basically all motivation kind of dropped. So then like just trying to find another job, I started at F45. Had never done class fitness or group fitness ever. I've done a lot of like personal training. I've obviously worked with the men's swim program. Like did a lot of their dryland training, which is core prehab rehab stuff. When I was doing that, some personal training, and just started at F45 mostly because I needed a job, and then was there for a year, and then had met Sammy at some point throughout that time. And
it was like a random class on a Wednesday for high rocks, right?
Yeah,
With,
like me and Dylan dropped in on like a noon class on Wednesday or something, and
I was like, this dude's an absolute tank.
Yeah, I remember it was a good sign when me and him were on the Instagram there before.
Literally first pick on the slideshow right there. We're even members. I think I even like texted Eddie after that. I was like, Ed, I think we like. It's a great picture, but try to keep it to members only. And he was like, I didn't know they weren't members. I was like, well, hopefully there will be one day.
Yeah, right.
So, So led you to here, huh?
That was what?
So led you to here after that.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, obviously, like the fitness space. If like you don't have one full-time job in it, you're working 2 or 3 gigs, bouncing around, and that can get pretty hard. So, glad I found here. Glad I found you, and I think we like work really well together. Which is.
It's a lot of collaborativeness.
Yeah.
It's it makes me feel good to know that like I don't have to be here every second of the day. Like I always knew that you were gonna do really, really well in the role. You were gonna excel, and so just a quick backtrack, and then we'll keep going. So F45 wound up becoming an Empire member. Mm-hmm. Right, and I've always felt like it's very beneficial for coaches to have a place outside of where they work, like just to go and train.
Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Is that kind of what your mindset was? Were you here to kind of like evolve as a coach, get more knowledgeable about coaching? Like, what was your purpose? And obviously, like, you obviously enjoyed the workout, but like, what was your main attraction to Empire?
Yeah. So I think. At that point, I was working early in the morning and then late in the evening, and I was getting tired of writing my own workouts and having really crappy days at Crunch and just like going through the motions. And I eventually was like, okay, I'm just gonna like jump into Empire and I started ripping the noon class. Shout out the noon class. I love the noon class. Yeah, it just like started to get to the point where like that became my routine, and like I noticed the amount of like no wasted days. Like I would come in here so beat down and just get absolutely like I would just annihilate a workout, and I was like, this is, I would, if I went to crunch, I would have just done 3 things and walked out and just like gone through the motions.
Dude, that's exactly like me. Like, I actually, even when like Empire was, opening, like we only had like 4 or 5 classes on the schedule. And obviously like as like the only coach here, I wasn't really able to like take class, right?
Yeah.
And, like I'm thankful now that like I can take class essentially, every day of the week if I wanted to.
Yeah.
But like I would essentially coach, like the 2 classes in the morning, and then I would have to work out on my own, and it was just like the most miserable workout ever. Like I'm just so over training by myself now.
Yeah.
Whereas when you know that you're coming in here into the class, you know that you're gonna have really good people around you that are gonna, really motivate you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I love like the atmosphere here, man. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah. It's good, man. I honestly, like, I was never a true believer in group fitness. I like always thought it was for people who didn't know what they were doing, and that's back in college before I knew much about it.
Yeah.
Like, and I think everything has its place. Like F45 and Orange Theory are great for people who need that kind of stuff. But like being somebody who knows like how progressive training kind of works, and has like spent years writing stuff for themselves and some friends, and doing some stuff online for some people as well. Like you just kind of understand like what's actually going to work, and finding somewhere like Empire who's like you've figured out a way to be able to do that on a mass scale with 48 people in a room, and like that's just rare, and it doesn't happen. And obviously like the product speaks for itself. Like the amount of success you've had within the first year and a half is almost unheard of for gyms, especially.
You're a big part of it, and kind of want to go into that a little bit. So started as a member. I even think I told you like right when you first joined, I was like, hey, like you're gonna coach here one day. And then like when you started coaching, I was like, hey,
Day one. I think I was 5 minutes into the workout.
Yeah. Then I was like, hey, you're gonna be our leader one day as well.
Yeah.
So kind of talk about like the transition from member to coach, and now like this, the head honcho, man.
Yeah. Head honcho.
Head bitch in charge.
Yeah, right. No, honestly, like when I joined, I had in my head that I was gonna be a pretty big part of this moving forward. Yeah. Like before he even talked to me about it, and it was just kind of something I set my mind to, and I was like, I'm kind of tired of where I'm at, and I need to start taking chances, and that's kind of what got everything moving into motion. And I mean, did I think it would happen this fast? No, but I think over the past couple of months we've gotten to know each other pretty well, and we believe in a lot of the same things, and what you're good at, maybe I'm not good at, and what I'm better at, I think it works really, really well.
You've definitely kept me grounded some days where I'm just like, I'm ready to freaking blow. You're like, hey, relax over there.
It's part of the gig, man.
So, listen, I've learned a lot from you too, like for example, just an example, right? Like a technical example, like last night, right? Like we were supposed to have a chest supported lat pull down in the programming, and Austin called me, like as he was closing, he's like, hey, I don't think this is gonna work, and just like the way that you're able to adjust things on the fly, right? Like the way that you're able to really, I would say like digest things, like think things through, is not necessarily one of my strengths, right? So from like, like the programming side, like, yeah, like maybe I would have been able to be like, hey, this probably isn't going to work. But like, just in general, like I always struggle with like slowing things down in my brain, right? Like I'm always like the type of person where like right when I get an idea, I just like to act on it.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, if it works, great. If not, whatever, right? Like I tried.
Yeah.
But I think there's definitely some things that you've really like, helped me out with where I kind of have to just slow down sometimes.
Yeah.
I used to be a very reactionary person. Now I'm able to really sit with my thoughts and like, really kind of like digest them, like before I act on it. So that's definitely a kudos to you right there. And I think it's very important in, especially like a leadership role, where, like we're managing a lot of like personalities, right? On staff, also as far as, like the member base goes as well, right? So, that's definitely a strength that I've added, but you've definitely, like played a role in that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if most people know this, but I'm a pretty quiet person, outside of here. Obviously, I flip the switch as much as I can, but I mean, I with that comes a lot of like thinking things through the whole way. Like a lot of what I say has been thought out, but like it's just that yin and yang kind of thing, like everything kind of works together pretty well.
Yeah.
But
What's your favorite part about the role?
I just like that it's so you never know what's gonna happen the next day. Like
so many unknowns.
that gives me a little anxiety. Like it's just my brain never really turns off anymore. Like before, I would just come in and come out, and like that's great. But like I feel like I need more, and that's just like I always like having this, and then always thinking about like how can you make this better? How as we expand, like what can we implement going into the new place? Like everything needs to be like growing, never changing, never getting stuck in something that it works, but like it obviously could be better. Like everything could be a little bit better. And I think that's the beauty in it, and that you're never really done.
Yeah,
never.
If
you're too comfortable, it's probably something's up.
That's one thing I still struggle with. Like sometimes I'll get home after a really long day, right? Like for example, right? I opened up this morning, right? I'm gonna be closing with you tonight, which I love it. Like I love to be here. Like I honestly love to be here as much as I also like love to be in bed at home, right?
Yeah.
But like there are days where I completely don't know how to turn it off still, right? Like I'll get home and like I'll be on my laptop. Okay, like what can we do for the next like event, right? At least, and then it's like but like it brings me joy, right? But I also have to remember like I have a wife at home that like doesn't always want to
talk business.
Exactly. So that's another thing. We haven't even I haven't even done a podcast episode ever since we started like the second spot. So we're gonna have to dedicate a whole nother episode to just like the journey of getting a second lease signed.
Yeah.
So there's one thing I wanted to talk about as well. I feel like a lot of people, especially as of recent, have asked me like, okay, what makes Empire's programming like really successful for the average person, right? I feel like there's times where Empire can have this misconception that it's really only for like high level athletes, right? I will say like, and I've kind of said this on, a couple other episodes too, where I do feel like you have to have some sort of experience in order to come in here and work out.
Sure.
It's not always the case, but I think that's, like the case a lot where you have to have some sort of, like foundation, right? But, I think what we do is incredible for people because like you have really, really, really complex movements, but at the same time you see a lot of people of different skill levels all in the same room.
Yeah.
So, I think I had someone ask me this last week, like how do we think the programming through, right? So kind of wanted to just go into that a little bit. I'm gonna ask you from a member perspective because that's what you started out as, right? What makes you love the workout so much that makes you not want to miss like a standard, like Tuesday upper body progression, right? and then we'll kind of go into it from there.
I think what I really like is, honestly, it takes, like, this goes back to, like, the high level stuff, but, like, back when I was in school training for swimming, like, the breakdown of the workouts is essentially the same. And, like, I think people overcomplicate programming too much.
Oh, yeah,
sometimes.
100%.
Like, you know, you take your basics and then you tweak them a little bit for some variation, but essentially, like, all you really need is your basic foundational lifts. But another thing that I really enjoy here is, like, you have your progression, but every week, from week to week, like, the workout's different. But it's also, like, you have your progression movements that 100%. You're moving through. Like, even when I was in college, like, you know, it was the same workouts every week over week for the whole progression. Like, whether it's 4 or 6 weeks, it was the exact same thing moving through. It just gets boring. You know what to expect, and you get better at the movements moving forward, but there are different ways to be able to train the same muscles with different movements. So variation is huge, and I think you do a really good job of, like, throwing in the EMOMs every once in a while, maybe an AMRAP, or, like, a little different work on the treadmill, like you just showed me. Like, the creativity is, at least for me, like, I can see the thought that goes into everything, which, for me, as somebody who's going to do it, you know, says a lot. Like, it makes me want to do it more. You know?
I think, you know, the biggest thing for me too is, like, I remember being in like, you know, college baseball workouts and, like, just, you know, like, thinking to myself, wow, like, this would really suck if I was doing it alone. You know, like, I love the workout itself, but like, I was like, if I was in here alone, like, that would really kind of suck. So it's like, how can we bring intensity into one whole group setting that keeps it fun, but also makes sure that you're, like, truly making progress week after week after week, right? So, you know, for those of you who maybe, you know, like, listening to this episode and don't really know, you know, a lot about us, you know, like, our foundation is, so on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and some Saturdays as well, we have these really, like, well thought out progressions over the course of, you know, 4 to 6 weeks, right? We've only hit a 6-week progression, I think, twice. It's usually either 4 or 5. I've been in love with the 5-week progressions because I feel like, you know, like, the last weeks of the progression, right, as peak week, can get really, really intense. So I like to start the first week with a little bit of, like, a deload, right? But I also think it gives incentive, you know, for people to be like, oh, if I'm going to be going on a Monday, right, and it's an upper body day, I don't want to miss an upper body day going forward because I want to continue to make my progress over week after week. If we're doing, like, you know, an overhead press, or, like, a flat barbell bench press, right? Like, I feel like it really gives the incentive for people to be like, I want to see where I'm at from now until the next, you know, 4 to 6 weeks. And I feel like it's really cool to see people, you know, like, really tracking their progress, right? Like, a lot of people will have, not an app, but shout out Mallory if you're trying to make an app for us. But, you know, like, a lot of people will actually have, like, their notepads open, right? And they're, like, tracking their weights, which I think is really cool to see. But yeah, I mean, you know, I don't think writing programming is hard. I do think a lot into it because, again, I do want to provide, you know, like, the variety for people, but I also think that you'd never want to make it too overcomplicated to where, like, there's just, like, a lot of chaos around the room, right? So, you know, keep it simple. You know, I think the 4 12-minute blocks works really, really well for people, you know, because it gives them a lot of time to, you know, get their warm-up sets in and also get, like, you know, 2 to 4, like, really good working sets in. But yeah, you know, it's, you know, I feel like the programming has really evolved, right? Like, I feel like we're constantly thinking of, like, new things that, but also things, like, that make sense, right? I think a huge, like, detriment lately, you know, like, to the fitness industry was there's so many exercises now, like, on Instagram. Some are really, really good. Like, I follow a lot of accounts where I'm like, oh, that looks actually really great. Like, I'm gonna implement that. But then there's also accounts where you're like, hey, like, we're gonna do a burpee to bicep curl to overhead press to deadlift. And I'm just like, what the hell is this? So I feel like when it comes to a group fitness perspective, I feel like simple, a lot of variety, but also ensuring that you're hitting. I mean, this is kind of like this is kind of like what my thought process is, but I feel like from a muscle building stage, you have to hit each major muscle group, twice a week, right? Kind of what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, you can't. It's like goes back to the old bro split of, arms on Monday,
Chest,
splitting it
back,
up,
legs, shoulders, arms.
Hitting arms once every 7 days isn't gonna grow you at all. You know what I mean? So, I completely agree.
Yeah. It's been fun, man, and I know that like we've had talks to where I'll be like, hey, Austin, like there's going to be a day where I can't do all the programming anymore, so I'm excited for you to eventually, have a big say in that. So, what for the people, let's rattle off some things. What is your favorite type of day at Empire? Is it full body, upper body, lower body? Is it high rocks? What's a day where you're like, oh, I got to hit this day?
I love an upper body day, man.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah, I love a shoulder chest pump, but I love and I hate the high rocks days. Like I hate them so much, but it takes me back to getting my ass kicked in swimming. That feeling at the end is good.
So brutal.
But so I have that love-hate relationship with that. But yeah,
those days are fun. Those the Wednesdays and Sundays are. Shout out Lexi, for taking over the programming. Yesterday was a hit, so.
Yeah, sick.
Yeah, man.
Bro.
Well, I'm glad we were able to give the people a little bit of an insight, to who you are and, what your journey has been, and it's awesome, to see how far, you've come in your journey, and you're what, 28?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean you're fucking. Not even 30 yet. Good for you, man. Yeah. Once you hit 30, a lot of stuff changes. But no, man. Yeah, thanks for being here, and appreciate you jumping on the podcast. You have any last thoughts for the members out there?
No, I mean I just really appreciate being welcomed from the beginning when I was a member to being more involved as a coach, and then now as a GM. Like, the people here are special, and it's crazy now because I can't go out anywhere and get dinner without seeing somebody I know, or like we were on the trail and I saw 3 people from Empire. Like, I was like, this is ridiculous.
They're all over. It
is cool, like, to be such a pivotal part of Raleigh and just the fitness community here. And I've only lived here for a year and a half, so like.
It's really only been a year and a half. Wow, that's crazy.
Coming up on 2 years in September, but.
That's awesome. Yeah, I moved down here in September 2020.
Yeah.
Coming up on 6 years, man.
Yeah.
Time freaking flies.
I would have never guessed that I would have been where I am right now when I moved here.
Well, you're in a good spot. We're going to continue to, really, put this thing on the map, and you're a big part of it. So.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, man. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Episode 6. We'll be back with episode 7, I promise you, in less than a year. So thanks for tuning in, y'all.